Welcome back to Tailgate Talk, Season 2, Episode number 19, with your host, the prognosticator. This week's co-host is K-Dog, and we have a special guest via telephone from the airport, and that will be Gate City's running back, Walker Hillman. Guys, welcome to the show.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Walker, thanks, buddy, for taking time out while you're sitting there waiting to get your bags at the airport and everything. And we thought we was going to talk a little college football, and we thought, well, we'll get our old buddy Walker on there, buddy. So thank you for at least taking a little time here with us. Just let us know when you have to roll there. We know how the airport and stuff works. Sometimes you got to get going, and everything.
Yes, sir.
So, let's talk a little college football, boys. What do you think, dog?
I love it, man. This is what we've been waiting for forever. Is a playoff like this. That way, everybody just don't go off of what ESPN says, who they think's the best, and let it play out, and we're gonna find out who's really the best. Because I think a lot of people thought the Big Ten was weak this year, and so far, they've had a big showing in this playoffs.
Oh, definitely they have. The Penn State looked really good. So is Ohio State. I mean, so to be honest with you, out of all these other teams that made it in playing this week, there's only one team that had a decent showing, and that was Clemson. So, how many of these games did you get to watch, Walker? I know that you've probably been kind of busy since you've been in Texas visiting family.
I watched a little bit of the Clemson-Texas game. It was going on. We were at Top Golf. It looked like Clemson, they had a real good fighting chance about the whole time. They just couldn't get it right there towards the end, but they looked real good. And then watched a little bit of the Tennessee-Ohio State game. That one was not as good as I was hoping it was going to be, but,
That one was a little ugly, wasn't it, buddy?
Yeah, it was a little rough.
So tell us your thought on it.
I mean, I didn't get to watch the whole game and just checked in here and there, but it just looked like Tennessee, they were struggling to get their offense going right there at the beginning and we let up quite a bit of points right there in the first, but I thought we might get back on track and it was going to start getting back into a close game, but never really could catch fully up.
Yeah, well, they ended up scoring 10 points there in the second quarter, and really, to be honest with you, probably was sitting pretty good because they scored those 10, got the ball back coming out of halftime. They was down 21-10. I just felt like if they could have probably put that first drive together out of halftime, that, and make it at least 17, even if they'd have just got a field goal out of it, I think they would have been in a lot better shape, but it just didn't happen. And then to turn the ball over on downs or punt the ball, and 3 and out, wasn't it? Did they not go 3 and out on that drive? I think they did. Yeah. And then Ohio State punches them in the mouth with it, and it was just downhill from there. It was rolling on them, wasn't it, dog?
Oh yeah,
yes.
It was, to me, it looked like Ohio State just dominated them in every way in the game. Offense,
absolutely,
defense, special teams. It was just total domination, and the thing is, Tennessee was playing man up on them corners and stuff, and they was getting burnt bad. And that one buddy of mine said Tennessee couldn't catch nothing. I said, well, they definitely couldn't catch Ohio State's receivers.
Yeah, they couldn't. They sure couldn't. That's probably the first time I saw uh, Tennessee's D backs get like not be able to like run with the other team's receivers. But now Ohio State's got some receivers that's going to be impact players in the NFL next year, or whenever they do go to the NFL, they're going to be impact players. So they do got some really good receivers.
I know Grant likes to call them the big slow, but they look pretty fast.
They were fast.
They was definitely burning it downfield. They looked like they had 4 or 5 steps on Tennessee's defenders at all times, just about it.
Yeah. Well, did anybody watch the SMU game?
Watched a little bit of it. SMU just offensively could not do nothing. I think that quarterback probably had one of the worst games of his career. Other than throwing interceptions and being sacked, I mean, they couldn't do nothing offensively with Penn State.
Yeah, I hear that, man. SMU to me just really looked like they just did not belong there, which most of the teams, didn't this week. They lost. They really didn't. Indiana was the same way, but I really felt like SMU, through the season they played pretty much mistake-free football. The last 2 games they've played, the ACC championship game and this game, they just made way too many mistakes. Walk, did you see any of that one?
Yeah, I watched a couple clips of it. Didn't get to catch much of the game, but yeah, I think Penn State. Everybody was kind of wanting to prove themselves, and they were kind of expected to play pretty good, and they went out there and they got the job done. I mean, there wasn't much to it.
Well, what about Indiana, Notre Dame? You got anything on that one?
I didn't get to catch that game. I'm gonna have to look at it by the time I get back home.
Well, I'll just be honest with you, buddy. There's not much to check out on it. Notre Dame pretty much dominated this game as well. It was kind of ugly.
I know Grant hates to hear that, but the game I expected to be a blowout, was Clemson and Texas, and I figured that
ended up being the best game of the whole weekend.
Oh yeah, but and I still think it was a bad call on that. When that Clemson kid intercepted that and run it back, it was going to make it 14-21. I still don't know if Clemson could have won the game, but it would have made it a whole lot closer. And they called that blindside block, and them 2 guys have been blocking each other the whole play. And how in the world they throw a blindside block call on that? That really hurt Clemson right there. Put them back in bad field position. They end up just getting a field goal out of it. But I still think Texas would have probably pulled that one out.
Well, who's your favorite now to starting with this next round? Who's your favorite now, Walker?
I think I can't remember if I said it last time I was on or not, but I see it hard to either beat Texas or Oregon. One of them 2 I think is going to come out on top.
You think Texas gets Georgia this time?
I don't know. I think they played twice. It's hard to beat a team 3 times.
It's hard to beat a team twice too.
Tell
yeah, it's hard to beat a team twice, but
tell them, Walker,
guess what
3rd
happened,
time's a
Walker?
charm.
Well,
I don't know. I think Texas is gonna come out on top this time.
That's right. 3rd time's a charm.
I don't know.
I tell you, I'd love to see Arizona do good, but I'm kind of worried about them. But now, my favorite in here is Oregon right now with the speed. I like Oregon, the way they play.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think this team's going to go far, but I am excited about watching Arizona State play and Scatterboo. To be honest, I don't know that they win, but it's going to be fun to watch them.
Oh yeah.
But I think at this point, I mean, I'll just be honest with you. If Ohio State plays the rest of this playoff the way that they did against Tennessee Saturday night, Ohio State's going to be tough to beat. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and that quarterback, man, he played tremendous game. But I mean, you know, he had guys wide open too. But but now he definitely threw the ball down the field and throwed it a lot.
I think a lot of their problem has been he's just been inconsistent through the season. And then obviously they just had a huge letdown against Michigan because there's no way Michigan beats the team we saw Saturday against Tennessee.
I can't believe people in Ohio want that coach fired just because he lost to Michigan.
Well, that's the rival game. I mean, you know, like we'd be wanting our coach fired too, like Virginia Tech would. If they lose to Virginia, yeah, you're wanting somebody's head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you could be winning the national title and just think a couple weeks ago everybody wanted your head. That's crazy.
Yeah. So do you got the bracket there, dog?
Yeah.
Let's see what's up next.
Let's see here.
We'll see. We'll do a little bit of the picks here. Walk before you have to run off, buddy.
We got Notre Dame gonna be facing Georgia.
Okay, who you like right there and why, Walker?
Well, I think Georgia might get stopped later down the line, but I don't think this is the game it'll happen. You know, they look good against their tough opponents, Texas. You know, against Alabama, they weren't as hot, but I just think that they'll have enough to beat Notre Dame. So I'm gonna pick Georgia on that one.
Shoot, yeah. I think, in this one here too, I have to go with Georgia, just because. But obviously, honestly, you don't be surprised that if Notre Dame don't, probably, at least make it an interesting game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, put on a show and
make it at least interesting. Dog, what you think?
Well, before I'd say Georgia easy, but after what's happened this week with Penn State and Ohio and how we was, Indiana, how we was thinking some of them teams was weaker. Notre Dame may show up in this game.
Notre Dame's running back is a dog, dude.
Yeah.
That kid can flat carry the mail. Yeah. You probably do need to watch that part of it, Walker.
I think.
Oh yeah, he's tough to stop.
He busted a 98-yard run.
To me, he got it like three yards in the backfield, and he wasn't even in a hurry to get out of the end zone, and then all of a sudden he busted it, man.
That hole opened up. You could have drove two semis side by side through that hole, and he was gone.
I thought Indiana's gonna get a safety at least, and as patient as he was back there and waiting, and then finally busted through her, he was gone.
So you're taking Georgia?
I'm gonna take the Irish in this one. I'm gonna say they make it a sloppy dog fest, and I'm gonna take the Notre Dame.
Walker, does it
Yes, sir.
Does it sound like K-Dog is a touchdown Jesus fan?
I don't know.
It's what it sounds like to me, don't it, you, buddy?
You daggone right.
Yeah.
All right, who's next, dog?
We got Boise and Penn State.
Ooh. You want to go first on that one, Don?
I'm gonna go with that blue collar team, and I'm gonna go with them Nittany Lions, baby. Beat them Broncos.
You know, the Broncos have the best running back in college football right now.
Yeah, but you've seen that defense, and I tell you, up there in the Big Ten, it seems like they're playing some pretty good defense up there this year. A lot of low scoring games.
All right, Walker, what you got, buddy?
Well, I agree. You know, Boise, they're had Ashton Genty. He's putting up numbers that you ain't seen in a while. It's gonna be hard to stop them, but you know, I don't know if they'll have enough to beat Penn. But I don't know. That one could go either way. But I'm gonna go with Penn State on it.
Yeah, it really could. Man, I really don't know because I think it can go either way as well. But I just think that Boise's just a little bit one dimensional offensively. You know what I'm saying? And I think Penn State's got a pretty good front.
Oh yeah.
So they're not going to completely shut him down. I mean, this guy reminds you a lot. Like, it's probably been a long time since we've seen a running back like this in college football. Probably since Reggie Bush's days. Me and Sean was talking about that today. You know. So, but I'm still gonna go with Penn State in that. Who's up next, bro?
Texas, Arizona.
Arizona State. Texas. Walker.
Yeah, it's like I said. You know, I think Texas is gonna be one of the teams to go all the way. They put up really good numbers. Arizona State, they've had a good run, but you know, I think it's going to be tough for them to pull out the win against Texas. So I'm going to go with Texas.
What do you think? What do you think about Scatterboo?
I mean, they've made a good run on it, but that Texas high powering offense, I don't know. There ain't many people that can stop it.
Yeah. Well, Arizona State's running back. Do you not think that from this year's high school playing, who in high school that you've played against this year does Scatterboo remind you of? The running back.
I'm not sure. He's real tough, ain't he?
Yeah, it's a district. It's a district foe to your guys's.
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna have to be old Keith Chandler.
I think he looks like Keith Chandler, like he's got that big body build. And
Oh
everything.
yeah,
He reminds me.
they got their legs churning, and it's hard to stop them.
And their legs are like the size of a freaking
Size of a tree trunk. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but yeah, in this one, I'm going Texas in it myself. Like I said, though, I would love to see Arizona State pull this upset.
Yeah, man. That's I've got to go with the hook and horns. But I really think they may go all the way and beat Georgia this time if Georgia makes it.
So you're hooking them, huh?
You hook 'em horns, baby.
Horns up, baby. Who's next?
Ohio.
Well, boys, I hate to bail out on y'all right here, but we're having a little bit of trouble here at the airport, so I'm gonna have to go
Hey, all right.
check some things out.
Give us your Ohio pick. Your Ohio versus
Oregon.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Oregon.
All right.
They're,
Hey,
they're
Walker.
tough.
Hey, Walker. Good luck, buddy, getting your stuff there and then getting in, buddy. We appreciate you. We appreciate you coming.
Hey, I
on.
appreciate y'all.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Appreciate y'all
brother.
for having me.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
to
y'all.
you
God
and your
bless.
family. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that was Walker Hillman with us, folks. We may try to surprise some other people here on some phone calls during this episode.
Call some Tennessee fans up.
Yep. So who you going with in this Oregon game, dog?
Oh man, now I don't know, man. Oregon got them once this year. I believe I'm gonna go Oregon. I'm gonna go with them Ducks. Even as good as Ohio looked, I'm gonna go with them Ducks. I really like them Ducks.
Still flying in the V, huh?
That's right. Shoot, but what gets me though is how much this bye gonna hurt these teams? Because you know how it usually is. If you get a bye first half, it seems like the game's too fast for you, where you've had all that time off, and it may not be so good to get the bye in this right here.
I'm thinking so too, because that's like, which I mean, I think the longer break could
I mean, your kids come back,
help you get healed up some.
yeah.
But I mean, you got to wonder, are they going to come out and play flat?
Or are they going to be up to the speed of the game, having two weeks off like that?
And there is a lot to think about.
I mean, some of them, if you didn't play in a
3 weeks.
championship game, you got 3 weeks off, and now you're playing?
If you didn't play in a championship game, you got 4 weeks off.
So, I mean, it's...
But most of these played in a championship game.
Yeah,
So it's been 3 weeks, I believe.
And then you look at Ohio, man, that was just a warm-up game to get ready for Oregon.
Oh, my Lord.
That was a warm-up game that was a scrimmage to get ready for Oregon. They was playing their B team in that game. That's crazy to think you're playing Tennessee and you're playing some of your B team players. Is that not crazy?
It's unreal.
I couldn't believe it. And then ESPN, they called me today and they told me old Smokey done entered the transfer portal.
He's out there, son.
Smokey gonna go be a Bulldog, baby.
Shoot, yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna go with Oregon too. But like I said, man.
But it was just a 1 point game earlier this season, wasn't it?
I mean, it was close,
And
real close.
that was at Oregon. It's gonna be something else.
This is neutral site too, so
I mean, you got to take that into factor in that Oregon 1 point ball game. That's crazy.
Ohio State, I really feel like can win this whole national championship. They're that good. They're way better than people think or talk about.
Man, I like I said, I think it's what we've been needing forever, man. Because I mean, how many of us, and be honest, how many of us said I had the Big Ten? They're not up to par and all this stuff, and then you come out with this playoff bracket, and you're thinking, well, Tennessee's probably one of the 3 best teams in there, maybe 4 best teams, and they just got embarrassed by, and not just Ohio, Penn State. They're in a good-looking bracket. I mean, who do you think's in the better-looking bracket out of that? I think a lot of people are upset with Penn State because they got that bracket.
I mean, they do have a pretty good
First 2 games.
path.
Yeah. I mean, eventually they're going to have to face Georgia or...
I think they'll be a heavy favorite in that quarterfinal game too.
You think so?
Yeah, they'll be. I think they'll probably be. I wouldn't be surprised if it ain't at least 10 to 14 favorites. Do you not think so?
Yeah. You talking about over Boise?
Yep.
Yeah. I think a lot of them teams in there right now, when the bracket first started, they was like, man, I wish I was in Penn State's bracket. At least you're making it to Georgia probably.
Oh yeah, more than likely to a semifinal game. But Boise, the thing is with them too, they've not been on this stage. And you've seen like the other teams that hadn't been on this stage before,
Yeah.
what happened to them. And you could tell it. You could tell they hadn't been on this stage.
It's just a different atmosphere. It's a different type of ball game. It's like when we talk about high school ball, some of these teams that's not been all the way to state and stuff, and ain't hardly made it past the first round. It's different. It's a different world when you get up there. It's how do you handle it? You know.
That's why I think it's important, to play in these tough games where the environment's going to be like a championship environment. You know what I'm saying? That way, if you do make it, then you're ready for it.
And before this playoff stuff, who would you have thought would have been in the national title game or deserved to be there? Before all this playoff stuff,
Like if it was to go back to like before the even 14 playoff.
yeah. If you just had to pick two at the end of the season, who would you have picked
Who would I would have picked?
to be in the national title game?
Oregon for sure. And I mean then you have to go back to the probably Oregon and Georgia.
And see, with this playoff thing, how crazy that'd be if we see Ohio and Penn State playing for a national title. That neither team would have had a chance without this.
That's true.
And as good as they're playing in it right now,
Yeah.
that ain't gonna say one of them might let up and have a fart tomorrow, but as good as they've shown in this first round, they may be a dominant force to deal with.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think none of us give the Big Ten that much credit before this playoff.
I just think the quarterback at Ohio State has to play consistent the rest of the way from to have a shot. If he plays like he does against Tennessee, then they got a shot.
And that game, I wish we had Grant here because that game, Tennessee just looked lost. It looked like they brought their soccer team out on a football field. That's how lost they looked in that ball game. Defensively, offensively, they was just and I expect Tennessee to run the ball more, try to run the ball more against Ohio, and because I thought Tennessee had a really great running game this year, But Texas, man, they surprised me how they got it done on the ground because, I mean, their running backs was ripping some big runs at the beginning of that game on Clemson. That's how they really tore Clemson up at the beginning of that ball game is by the running game. They got some heck of a backs on their team. Some dudes.
What kind of dudes?
Well, they had two of them in there, and both of them was running wild,
Running wild, son.
But I think that hurt Clemson more than anything is Texas running game.
Yeah.
And I figured it'd be the passing game that would really got Clemson, but
I just can't believe that Clemson had. But Clemson's a championship team. That shows you the difference. That Clemson's being there, they know how to handle it. You know what I mean? They know how to prepare for it. They know they know how to handle this. Versus the other three, just did not know. They've never been there, and they were shell shocked, and every one of them looked that way.
Yeah, and Dabo, man, he's one of the best coaches in big game situations. He knows what to say to his guys. He know he always gets his guys, you know, and plays that underdog card on them and all that stuff, and he knows how to get his guys going in big games.
He is a pretty good motivational speaker.
Oh yeah,
He made me want to buy stocks last year.
did you?
Maybe. I might have lost some money on that. I don't know. But he does have that ability to, you know, to make you like kind of believe in what they're doing.
And the thing about this right here with these teams that set out, you know, probably not. As soon as I say this, it'll be the opposite way, but probably not Oregon and Ohio, but it'll be interesting seeing what Notre Dame can do with Georgia. It'll be interesting seeing what Arizona can do with Texas. I mean, because we've yet seen that out of, you know,
Yeah.
them. It'll be interesting to see what you know, if Penn State gets to the next round, what they can do with Georgia. You know, there's a lot of exciting games here that we still yet to know. You know, but but right now, Big Ten's looking scary.
They are. I mean, they're always going to be good offensively, defensively, and stuff like that. Like their front line.
I think it were they don't score as much points where they play each other, and maybe all of them's defenses are really that good, you know.
I mean,
But I think
Penn
it's-
State's had one of the best defenses ranked in the top 10 for the last 2 or 3 years.
Probably last 10, ain't it?
I don't know how long, but for sure the last 2.
But you know, I think that's why sometimes we underestimate some of them teams like that, because just their defenses may really be that good, you know.
It's a possibility.
That's why they're low scoring when they play each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, what was the score between the Michigan and Ohio game last couple weeks ago? It wasn't that high scoring, was it?
I can't even remember, to be honest.
But it's this is why I love this playoffs, because I think there's been a lot of years that there's just been a trophy handed out to somebody, and
So do they have the number right now, or do they need to add
I'm
just a few more?
I'm fine with. Did you hear that guitar?
Somebody hit the drop D.
I'm fine with what they got now.
I am too, but I think they do add more to it though.
They may add more to it, but I mean, I think if you can't make it in it now, you probably didn't deserve to be there anyway.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, there's some of that top 12 that don't look like they deserve to be there.
Yeah.
The way it was.
There's at least 3 teams that look like they didn't deserve to be in that first round anyway.
One of them was like ranked number in the top 10.
Yeah. But it's well, I mean, I know we've talked about it before. How do you feel? Like, say for instance, the 4 that got the bye. How do you feel on that? Do you think it's right the way they give them the buys? How they picked them for the buys?
Not really. Because, I mean, like, honestly, I think probably Penn State and Ohio State deserve to be in one of the bye spots. Then I think you have probably a better first round game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think the teams then would have been a little more evenly matched. But then you're probably going to turn around and you're going to have like I don't know, probably like a second round that ended up being like this round was.
What
So a few blowouts.
my thing is a lot of people I think thinks because Texas is number 2 all year that Texas probably should have got a bye. But the only thing that really changes my mind about that is Texas has had 2 shots at Georgia, not one, but 2 shots at Georgia, and couldn't get it done either time. That's one reason I'm like, well, Texas don't deserve a bye. If they want to play Georgia again, they just gonna have to win their way through it. And you know, whether the bye helps you or not, I don't know. It gets you one game closer. I know that, but I mean, to me, I think your better team's gonna come out and win anyway.
At least you hope. Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
honestly, I'm like what we was talking about earlier. I mean, the bye probably does hurt some teams, especially when you're sitting there 3 weeks not having no real contact.
live action, yeah.
And then you worry about that team being flat.
That's my biggest thing is everybody that takes a bye in college football, just about it seems like they come out and have one of the worst first halves they've had in a long time. Usually when they come out and play their next ball game, and a lot of teams do it before a big ball game, and that may come into factor too. But this is the same situation right here. You getting ready to come out and play a really good team,
Yeah.
and
I don't know, dude. It's just crazy how you have teams that do that, come out flat or whatever, don't play up to specs, considering, everything. But also you gotta look at it too. Like if you're pretty banged up, then you got like the 2 or 3 weeks there that helps you to get healed up, get guys back ready to go again.
oh yeah, I mean, it gets you a game closer. It gets you guys healed up, but are you gonna be sharp and crisp when you come out and have to get ready to play? And it ain't like you're coming out to play no cupcake either, because
I don't know.
I'd say any one of these teams that's left, there ain't no cupcake games,
There's definitely not no cupcakes going on that left now. That's for sure.
I mean, if Grant was here, he'd say, yeah, they's won. He's Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's probably what he would say. I know one thing, he would not pick them.
Yeah.
Even if they were playing like a little high school team around here, he wouldn't pick them. He would pick the little high school team.
I know
He would pick council that don't even have a football team to beat.
I know they play a weak schedule and all that, but I mean, they've done enough to get there. I mean, they deserve to be there, I believe. Whether you like them or hate them, it ain't easy. Even if you do play a cupcake schedule, it's not easy to go undefeated, and then they went in there and beat Indiana the way they beat them. They deserve to be there. I mean, whether they get clobbered by Georgia or not,
Oh yeah. Well, let's move on from the playoffs a little bit. What do you think? Let's talk a little bit about UNC and this hire with Bill Belichick.
Oh yeah, that's UNC. They must have some pretty good money down there. I thought they throw all their money at basketball, but they went after Texas retired coach there a couple years ago to turn that program around, and now they're going after Bill Belichick. and it sounds like they've got him.
Oh, they've got him.
Oh man, they are really trying to do something with their football program down there. You know, you go after the big man and then turn around and go after Belichick. They're ready to throw the money out there to turn that program around, ain't they?
Yeah, I think it's a good hire.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because the way college football is evolving now, it's kind of like it's a lot like the NFL now because you know you have your NIL deals and stuff, so you know salary caps or whatever in the NFL. You know you got to kind of balance that with this in college now. The transfer portal, you know, is kind of like the free agency part of the NFL, and then your high school recruits coming in is kind of like your free agents coming in. You know what I'm saying? Or your college recruits coming in. So I mean, it's becoming a lot like that, and I think a man that understands that probably as good as anybody. And the way it's evolving toward like kind of like an NFL system is Bill Belichick, and I think he'll be able to balance that well and everything. So I love it. I'm excited for it. I mean,
My thing is it's gonna be too warm down there in the summertime. What's Belichick gonna wear? Is he gonna wear? He'll have to put that sweater up, you know.
he's gonna wear his sweater and shorts.
You're probably right. He ain't gonna give that sweater up, is he?
He's gonna have a sweater and shorts on.
But now come playoff time, it's gonna be Bill's weather. You know, it's gonna be what he's used to and he loves. I guess the cold weather. As long as he stayed at New England, he must love it.
Well, yeah, Bill's weather, son.
But yeah, man, I think it's gonna be interesting. I love Bill as a coach. He's simple minded. He plays football the way we used to play. You know, 3-4 yards of play. Don't worry about touchdowns. As long as you're getting first downs, you're gonna end up getting touchdowns. I don't think a lot of teams really look at it that way anymore. They want to go downfield, want to make big plays, one big run, one big throw, and he just nickels and dimes you down the field to where it about bores you to sleep, but it works. I mean, as long as you're getting first down, you're going to end up getting touchdowns.
Yeah.
Ain't no need to do it in a hurry.
Well, another story that's been in the headlines is Mark Stoops and the Kentucky players in the transfer portal. A lot of their players has entered the transfer portal saying they're not going to play as long as Stoops is there.
Yeah, I don't know what that situation's about. It's but there's something going on when you have, you know, about half your team wanting to leave and not wanting to play for a man. That's not good. But,
No.
But you know, I worry some about this transfer portal because, I mean, I think some of these kids are spoiled anyway, and I think some of them, you know, instead of just trying to go out and compete harder every day and try to earn a position, some of them, the way kids are spoiled this time of day is a whole lot different than us when we was growing up. You know, we was always taught, well, you got to go earn it. You got to go take it, you know. And this just gives kids too quick of an option. So I ain't going to try to satisfy that coach. I'll just go somewhere else, you know.
Yeah, the biggest thing is right now they're money chasing. They're chasing money, you know. I mean, if you think about it and look at it, the quarterback for Texas, Ewers, is he was somewhere else and got that money. Then he came to Texas and got money there. And if from rumors have it, is he's transferring again after this year to another team to get money again.
Probably Ohio, ain't it?
I don't know where he's going. but he's turning it over to Arch and chase the money.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Eventually, they're going to have to make these kids, especially the ones that's getting the high dollar NIL stuff. They're going to have to make them sign a contract or something.
Yeah. Well, and I'd understand transferring if you felt like you're never going to get the opportunity to play there, and you're wanting to transfer and go to a lesser school to where your opportunities are a lot greater to get into play, step on that field.
I can somewhat see that, but I mean, most of these kids are transferring. They're in the portal, then they're getting there, and then the grass is just not as green on the other side as they thought it was.
Yeah.
And they've been stories about these kids doing that, and then trying to like come out and come back. Well, the other team's like, no, we already got somebody out of the portal to replace you, and then they end up having to go somewhere to play and walk on because now they've lost their whole daggone scholarship.
And I feel like they deserve that too. I mean, because to me, I don't think these athletic kids actually realize how much that scholarship is at full ride. When these really, really smart kids go to college for different reasons and have to pay 10 years after they're out of college trying to pay all their stuff up, and these college kids don't even realize how lucky and blessed they are to get a full ride.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To the bigger colleges. I know kids that's been out of college just from Tech, and Tech's not really what I would call a high tier college, but him and his family, several of them have been paying on his college tuition for going on over 10 years now, and trying to get his college tuition paid off. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's unreal.
And then these kids don't even realize what they got. And I think we've talked about it before too. I'd understand in a situation like Michael Vick and Reggie Bush, when the colleges was selling so much of their name and their number, and was making so much money off of them. But I really ain't seen jerseys sell like it did with Reggie Bush and Michael Vick when they played ball. I mean, it seemed like everybody in the country had one of their jerseys on, so I know these kids act like these colleges making all this profit off of them, which they are as far as ticket sales and stuff like that. But
what really started the whole thing?
What was that?
NCAA football. That's why they quit making it for a while.
Yeah.
It's because he wasn't paying the kids, and the kids was like, look at all the money that these.
Oh yeah,
so now
the game systems and stuff.
So that's why they had to bring this on board to make it to where they could get something out of it through the lawsuit that they went through. Also, so EA Sports is kind of responsible for this.
Yeah, it's but I I don't see much on it this first year or so that they've implemented this, but I do think in the long run, you're going to start seeing just certain schools being able to stay up to the top and being able to keep paying for the best players.
Okay, it's rumored Travis Hunter comes back to Colorado for $40 million.
Why would you even want to go to the NFL?
$40 million.
that is insane. And the bad thing is like you said the other day, he may not even go play NFL. He may go to the NBA.
Yeah, he's a hooper.
I mean, the dude just won the Heisman, and may not even play NFL ball, may go to the NBA. That is unreal. And
Jump out of the gyms and
yeah, but if I was gonna make $40 million, I wouldn't go nowhere either. I'd live it up as a college kid.
he's already set. So I mean, it ain't that big a deal. And if I have the opportunity to choose between NBA versus going to the NFL, I'm choosing the NBA. It's a
Yeah.
whole lot easier life.
Yeah, but if it's my opportunity to go to college or the NFL, and I can stay in college and make 40, I'm staying there where the nightlife is. I'm staying there on campus.
Oh yeah, it's way more laid
Oh
back.
yeah,
Whole lot less responsibility.
yeah. And still,
Not saying that he don't have no responsibility there, but I mean, it's a lot less responsibility.
when you can still be a kid and hang out with your buddies, and and you know there's a lot to do with them colleges.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely where I'd be staying if you're gonna pay me $40 million. That is crazy. That's well. You want to hit on some of this high school ball since we ain't got to do none.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're like a week or two behind, so we can at least shoot in on some of these state championships, man.
Nah,
Or
I just kind of just want to talk about some of these teams. Some of the players that may have stood out to you this year, surprised you, or some teams that kind of let you down or whatever, or kind of played under their expectation or whatever. But going on about these playoffs, man, I think Eastside and Rock Cove, I think they really missed a good opportunity. I really think they really blew a big chance to win a state championship. I ain't taking nothing away from Essex, but I really believe either one of them teams could have played with Essex.
well, I want to go back and say this. Let's go back to the Region D 1A, Region D championship game. That's a game that we all felt like that particular night that the best team there didn't win.
Yeah,
Okay, I think a lot of people can agree to that. Not saying that Rocco's not good, not throwing off on Rocco, but that particular night, Eastside was the better team.
oh they brought it.
But Rocco, like good championship teams do, found a way to win.
Yeah,
I think the very next week, we see Rocco as the better team. They were better. They played better in that game than what Grayson really did.
yeah.
Stacy, in my final game, the best team did not win this game.
No,
But I think if that had happened, I honestly think Rocco beats Essex. If they make it, I think they beat them.
yeah. I just, I think both teams kind of blew a big opportunity. I think Eastside blew a big opportunity against Rock Cove because, I mean, it looked like a different Eastside team the second game they played against Rock Cove than the first one. Eastside come up there, fired off the ball, was the first off the ball, and was doing what they wanted at will. It seemed like was Rock Cove. You take away the 3 fumbles, and that really hurt Eastside.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at that point, Eastside possibly wins that game by 2-3 touchdowns.
And still,
Possibly.
still thought Eastside had won that game. And then, what the star players do in big moments.
They make plays.
Then Rocco's quarterback, man. Well, Rocco gets a big return, sets him up, down near the 40, good field position, and then quarterback made one of the best throws that I'd probably ever seen. A kid backpedaling as fast as he was backpedaling and made one of the best throws there was,
Yeah.
And then kind of turned around the next week and had chances to put Grayson County away and had guy wide open streaking down the middle of the field. Nobody around within probably 30 feet or more and just kind of overthrowed them.
You know what they say, though? Sometimes the easiest plays are the hardest ones to make.
Yeah. Yeah, when you ain't got that pressure and something's too wide open.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he'd like to have that one back. But while we're speaking about that, congratulations to Mr. Lane there. He offensive player of the year, man.
Second time in a row, ain't it?
I think it's twice in a row.
Yeah.
Also was WCYB player of the year.
Yeah, man.
Man, he had some great numbers, and it's well deserved. All state, yeah. First team All State, yeah.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Reason I remember that because I think last year my son Brent got defensive player of the year, and then he got offensive player of the year from Rock Cove.
I think Rock Cove placed 4 on first team All State this year.
Yeah, man.
Maybe 5, but 4 at least. I think.
I tell you, the more I went and watched them, and I talk a lot about Hamilton from Coburn, but the more I went and watched them, man, that Rollins kid, man, he was laying some stick on people.
Oh yeah,
I
he's
tell you,
one of them. He made it.
He's a game changer. He when he make a stick on somebody, it seems like it turns that whole team around. And
he'll probably be leaned on pretty heavy next season too.
Absolutely. It's gonna be a battle next year. I'm ready.
Oh, it definitely is.
I
I
know.
mean, you look at it and you think how young the East Side has and how they've competed, but Rock Cove ain't losing that many players, man.
Yeah. It's I don't know.
I mean, the one they are losing is going to be huge, and that's going to be a big shoe to fill. But
yeah, let's talk about Division II state game. I was cracking up when and I really believe your state game was with Graham and Glenbar. To me, I think that was your state championship game.
yeah, either one of them team wins it.
They both played each other, and Glenbar was getting chippy right back with Graham, and I was loving it. And I was like, yeah, man, because Graham's usually one that's pushing people around and getting chippy with him, and Glenbar was kind of giving it right back to him a little bit, and them boys wasn't holding back, and turned out to be one heck of a ball game. But then the next week, which we talk about Strasburg, how many times they've been to the playoffs and never won it, and kind of like the old Buffalo Bills, and I know it hurts if you're Strasburg, you get that many championship games, and you just never can pull it out. You're gonna like, when's it going to be? When's it going to happen? Well, not this year, because Graham comes up there and. I could tell them announcers know a lot about Strasburg by the way they was talking about Strasburg, but then they said, the key factors to the game for Graham is said Graham will have to find some way to stop this awesome running attack from Strasburg. It ain't been stopped all year. And when that announcer said that, I was like, you're crazy. You're crazy. You don't know Graham.
You ain't seen him play.
Evidently, because Graham don't have no problem with that, with nobody they play.
And they didn't.
Even with Union, Graham, they do what they need to stop Keith Chandler. And if you can bottle that kid up all night and keep Union from scoring on you with him trying to run right down your throats, you're pretty tough. If Keith can't run on you, ain't nobody around gonna run on you, unless they do a lot of trickery or something like that. But yeah, when them announcers said that, I was like, if that's all Graham's got to do, this thing's done won. If all they got to do is stop a Strasburg running game, it's over, and it pretty much was.
Yeah. If I was a head coach and you was a head coach, I'd pull all kinds of trickery on you, and then I'd be like, "Silly Kermit, tricks are for kids."
I mean, you got to do something a little more to Graham, to set them off. You either got to be kind of like Glenn Var, throwing down the field on them, kind of trying to make them back off. But, what really got me, though, was when Graham come out at the beginning of the game, knowing how good Strasburg's running game was, Graham lined 8 guys up on the line of scrimmage. This is the same thing I've been hollering about Union for 4 or 5 years. When you come up against a running team, you've got to put people in gaps. You got to fill gaps. You got to get after them. You got to hit running backs in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage. You can't let them have a run and go. But now, as big and as bad as Graham is, and probably could have played a 4-man front with Strasburg, but 8 men down there at the line of scrimmage, first play of the game.
Yeah, but they didn't have to worry about no passing going on, So. Strasburg was not going to throw the ball.
Well, I mean, a similar situation, with Union and Graham at the first game of the year. Union and Aberdeen. Aberdeen wasn't trying to throw the ball.
But they're not going to try to throw the ball on either.
You got to put more guys in there. You got to fill gaps. You can't just sit back and wait till a guy comes through the hole and then try to go get him. And I mean, as big and as bad as a team as Graham is, they was putting dudes down on the line. They about played, unless it was a known passing situation, they pretty much played 6 guys on the line the whole game. And that's how you stop the run. I mean, plain and simple. You got to put numbers in there with their numbers.
Yep.
And that's what Graham did. And like I said, Graham, with hardly no offense, cakewalked through state championship.
Cakewalked it, son.
Oh yeah, cakewalk, baby, cakewalk. It's so for anybody that don't believe defense don't win championships, right there's a sure sign that defense wins championships.
It's proved itself over and over and over and over. It stood the test of time, and it will continue to do so.
And that's one thing I will say about Graham this year. They had one of the best defenses and special teams. You put defense and special teams together, you don't need much offense.
Oh, I agree.
And they definitely had it defensively and special teams top notch all year long.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Graham and their head coach. And
glad to see one come back to Region D.
Man,
That's 2 out of the last 4.
Graham's really turned it around to a really good football program up there. I mean,
it's definitely a program.
But they've won 6 championships
Altogether, yeah.
And most of them's been here in the last decade?
Yeah, 3 of them at least. They've won 2 right here back to back, kind of almost back to back. Well, 2021 and then 2024. And
I really believe they could have beat Radford last year, but they just panicked out.
Once they got down.
It seemed like when they get down by 2 scores, it seemed like they would go in panic mode.
I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
just crazy. But you know, you got to congratulate them coaches up there, man. They're doing a heck of a job with the kid. And we talk about Graham could be going down the single A, and so I mean, it ain't like they've got the numbers on people. They're just doing a heck of a job to getting kids out and interested in football.
Yeah, I'm getting those to transfer too.
Well, I mean, it helps a little bit. But let's talk about a stick now. Boy, did number 11 lay a daggone stick in that game.
Yeah.
About left them announcers. The second play of the game, Graham was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna show you we can stop the run." And number 11 hits running back in the backfield.
About the time the pitch gets to him.
Yeah, and I mean just lights his world up.
I don't see how the kid held on to the ball, to be honest with you.
But really, if you're anybody else and you're watching this, what you got to really be watching is this big defensive lineman they got's coming back next year. He got another year to go, and this number 11 that just laid one of the best licks you ever seen in your life on a kid. He's just a sophomore. He coming back for 2 more years. Oh man, the dude's gonna be a beast. I mean,
It's crazy, man.
Graham's. They're losing what 9 seniors this year.
Not many at all. 7, I think.
I thought,
Maybe 9.
I thought it was 9, but
It may be 9, but it's under 10.
but I mean, like I said, they're really a small double A school. I mean,
They're small double A.
but so I mean, it ain't like they got numbers on anybody, you know.
But Amari Hill comes from a different school out of West Virginia there. You know, they get those kids like that.
Yeah. But I think, who do you think's going to be really good next year?
Graham again. I think Union has a good shot at being really good next year. Gay City was youthful. I think they'll be better. Abingdon, I'm not really sure where they're going to be at. I think Ridgeview's pretty much going to be probably toward the bottom. They lost a lot, plus they were losing their coach.
Yeah, at Ridgeview, I think they're going to really be struggling and hurt next year.
I mean, honestly, it's really hard to predict that at this moment because you don't know what kids are going to continue to play.
I think probably my most disappointing team this year, and it's not because they're win losses or nothing like that. I think my most disappointing was Union this year. They just seemed like they were just wasn't where they need to be offensively. The big games they couldn't score points. They just wasn't explosive as they used to be. You know.
But they still play for a Region D championship.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it just seems like me there was a big let off in the offensive explosiveness to score points. You know, I mean, if you got a big lead on them, which nobody hardly ever did because their defense played pretty daggone good, it would have been hard for them to come back on you and score points. You know,
that's true, man.
Ridgeview, another one of my disappointing teams this year, and it's not because they couldn't score points. It's because they blowed it in the big games. They blow chances and opportunities. Probably should have beat Union down there by 2 scores in the playoffs.
It's hard to be ready for those kind of games, man.
I mean,
when you don't prepare to be.
Union goes up there and kind of blows you out of the water at Ridgeview. You come down at Union, the ball falls your way. chance after chance after chance, and between fumbles and I don't know what it is with that quarterback. He just don't play good against Union. It seems like he plays good against everybody else, but he don't have a good night against Union, and I hate that. But I think that's why Ridgeview was probably one of my most disappointing teams this year, because I think they had squandered opportunities, especially in that playoffs.
Yeah. I think Abingdon went kind of south too. From where they started.
I was impressed with Abingdon at the beginning of the year, and I was high up on Abingdon, and I still wish they would have left the Honaker kid at quarterback. I think they would have still been more explosive. Could have scored a lot more points, but I'm like you. At the end of the year, it just seemed like they just died down and they just worried about defense, and like the offense kind of just turned into blame.
I don't know, they just was a different team toward the end. Kind of makes you wish you could have played them later in the season versus at the front of the season. But I do want to say congratulations to all these kids at every school. All the ones that's getting to be, first team All State, second team All States, first team districts, second team district, and everything. I do want to say congratulations to all these kids from all these schools. I mean, it's what you work for, to get numbers to be able to be recognized like that, and if you was recognized that way, we want to say congratulations to you.
Yeah, man. What do you think about Virginia High? Why they finished off their season?
They did not like the cold weather. That's all I know.
I think
they did not want no part of that.
They just blow. Virginia High's another one that kind of blowed me away. I thought they'd go up there and give Graham fits with that offense and stuff. And
I think if it was 20 degrees warmer, it would have been a different ball game.
But it just looked like them kids was like, "Hey, coach, we ready to go play basketball. We ready to go get in the gym. we ready to go home."
I don't know where they wanted to be at, but I know they did not want to be there on that cold night hitting that hard ground.
Yeah. It's
you could just tell they did not want no part of that.
That really kind of upset me, because I know talent wise they got just as much talent.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of talent
on the field as anybody. Who's your favorite player to watch? Do you think?
My favorite player to watch that we got to see, man, I had several of them, to be honest with you.
I know.
We had a lot of good players this year. I mean, the Reese kid was fun to watch. He was very fun to watch. His mechanics and everything, and the way he spun that ball was just spectacular. I mean, Landon Lane was fun to watch too. Keith Chandler, fun. I like watching Walker. I like to watch him run the ball.
Yeah.
There was just a lot. There was a lot of kids, man, that I enjoyed.
I like watching the Gate City quarterback, the young quarterback, just got put in up there against Union, and
Zane Reed.
Man, I tell you, for a young kid, he stepped up big in that ball game, and he was making some throws. He about brought them back in that game.
Yeah, they got a lot of potential there with him.
For a young kid, that's good to watch. That stuff right there. But I'm like you, Reese. Probably most exciting one I've got to watch. Probably Reese. He's just, man, kid just stays in there and fights and makes some great throws, and I really believe that kid's gonna be playing at the next level.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, he just looks like a college style quarterback when you're watching him. I mean, even if his guys ain't even hardly open, it seems like he puts it right in the bread basket.
Oh, they're in the bread basket. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and but I got to watch him twice, and he was, man, he was getting hammered against Graham, and the kid was still sitting in there making great throws, and one of his interceptions wasn't even his fault. He hit his receiver, and it went right through his receiver's hands, right back into the Graham guy's stomach. And I don't even believe nobody even knew the Graham kid had it, and the Graham kid run it all the way back. But yeah, that's Landon. He's been fun. Just watching him when you think he's done for, and then
Spectacular,
then
man.
he just take 2 steps back and slings it, and makes them type of throws. Like, did he just do that? You know, did that just happen?
I loved watching him play, man. I really did.
No,
He was fun. He was fun. He was fun to watch. Which, I mean, you know, there's others on that team it was fun to watch too.
yeah,
It was, like I said, and I mean, we had a great year of high school football. A lot of fun kids to watch play. I mean, we had some great games that we got to watch. We had some that wasn't so great games too, but I enjoyed it, man. It was an awesome high school football year.
I tell you,
I'm already ready for next year.
when I went up there to Rock Cove and Grundy, that was probably the most hyped game. Rock Cove and Grundy, and was kind of let down by, by Grundy because I really expected it to be a barn burner.
I mean, I think Grundy came in there and was a little bit shell shocked. The environment kind of shocked him.
But that was crazy.
I think the Rocco's 12th man probably had more to do with that game than anything, really.
It was definitely a packed house. Ain't no doubt.
It was awesome.
Shoot, I can't wait next year.
I can't either. I'm excited about it. I wish it was starting tomorrow.
If I had to say who got the better chance of coming back, I think one of them would have to be Union because I really don't think they lost that many seniors. Probably the last class of seniors that a lot of them kids was young. Playing
This
for
is
them.
probably Union's better chance. I think this is a year that they probably really need to do something. They're going to do it.
Yeah, because
Because they do lose a lot next year.
you know, you lose a 4-year starter in Braxton Bunch, or maybe a 3. I'm not sure if he's gonna be a 4 or 3, but anyways, you lose Braxton Bunch, lose a 4-year starter at quarterback, and then you're gonna lose Keith, Cam, and Braxton have been on that field probably for the last.
Carlos.
Yeah. Now Carlos is going to be a 3-year starter. So, I mean, yeah, you're going to lose.
This junior class was.
They don't do it this time. They're going to.
I'm not saying they fall completely off and ain't going to be no good, but I'm just saying.
They're going to be down.
They're going to have to replace some kids after this.
Well, you replace.
Which they already got some young ones stepping in, so.
You replace 3 or 4-year starters. That's hard to replace, though.
Yep.
So, I think Union offensively needs to get it done next year. Their defense will probably be like it usually is. It's always seems like it pretty decent. Year in and year out. but I think offensively they're really going to have to step it up and get a little bit more explosive.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, great year. Well, dog, how about we do, before we run off here, how about we do a little K-Dog story time?
K-Dog story time.
Yeah, and I've got a story that I think that I would like for you to tell that I think's pretty funny. And I think this is a segment that we're probably going to have to start implementing. I think our fans is going to love the K-Dog stories. But, let's talk a little bit about the time that you rode the bicycle and you got hit, run over by your dad.
Oh, man. I forgot all about that one, but yeah, me and my brother, we always had bikes, and ain't none of them had brakes on them. You had to put your foot in the back tire to get them to stop. Mom sent me and my brother to the store to get some stuff because she was cooking for Dad, and she wanted it to be done before he got home from work, which is the way she always done. And so me and my brother run out there and we get on our bikes, and I told my brother I got a head start. I said, I'll race you. And so here I start pedaling off the hill. I'm pedaling wide open as hard as I can pedal. My dad, here he comes flying home from work. Old Plymouth car, he probably didn't have hardly any brakes on it. I know I didn't have no brakes. We both come around the curve at the same time, and I smacked him head on. It throwed me and the bike up on his windshield. My face looked like one of them pressed dolls that you push up against the window.
Flattened out.
Oh, yeah. I flipped plumb up over his car after breaking his windshield, and it flipped me over his car. I finally let the bike go. The bike went one way, I went the other way, and I landed in the blower patches.
The blower?
Yeah. Dad got out by the time he got the car stopped. He got out of the car, and he got out and looked like he was going to kill me. And he went to holler, and I wasn't hurt, but I lay there and act like I was hurt. I act like it about killed me because I know if I didn't, he gonna pick me up and wire my hide out.
So you had to pretend like you was about dead anyhow.
I had to pretend like I was hurt, or he was probably gonna hurt me.
You would have think that you'd have been about dead though after taking that flip plumb through the car.
I know it. I don't know how it didn't go through his windshield, but I guess they made them pretty good back then. but I know one thing, it totaled that bike out. But I probably didn't weigh but about a buck. I'd say is probably the only reason it didn't hurt me too bad.
You would think though that would make it worse. I mean, you ain't got nothing protecting bones.
I think it's that lighter weight, if you little kid and you jump off a building when you're 100 pounds, it seems like you can jump off a 20-foot building and not hardly hurt you. And you get a little older and put that little extra weight on you, you jump off something 5 foot high and it make your feet sting.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true.
Oh.
Well, so Dad didn't kill you, huh?
No, he didn't kill me. He didn't beat me, but I survived.
Well, that is awesome. Well, Don, what do you say, buddy?
I say ho, 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 and a Merry Christmas to all.
Yep, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. It's been an awesome high school football. All we got left now is college football. We'll be bringing you some of that in the next few episodes and stuff, and then everything. Let us know if you want us to continue recording after this, and kind of like what kind of content that you want. We'll try to bring it to you. If you want some of our comedy stuff, we can try to do that too. Whatever. Be sure you comment. Let us know on our Facebook page, everything. Let us know what kind of content you want us to bring, and then we'll be more than happy to try to do something. If not, probably when the college football's over, that'll probably be it for us until next season anyhow.
Yeah, we just right now just hanging out, having fun, and going over these playoffs. Just having a good time. Waiting on next year. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I'm hoping we get around, do a whole lot more next year, travel a whole lot more games, which we packed in quite a few this year just because the circumstances. Some teams playing on Saturdays, some games canceled.
Yeah, we did get a few extra ones in.
Man.
That was pretty awesome.
Man, we've really packed it up this year. Hopefully we can get more next year.
It's gonna be fun, ain't it, dog?
Yeah, man. I hope Region D and Single A and Double A can bring them home next year.
I'm excited about seeing just a few more of the schedules, because we do have a couple exciting schedules that's already showed up. So
I think they may have been listening to us. We've talked about beefing them schedules up. I think some of these coaches is listening.
Well, I mean, they already had a pretty beefy schedule, but nothing like this. So, I'm excited. I mean, so I hope that Union keeps on its heel. So,
yeah, I mean, to win big games, you got to play big teams. If you want to go win the big one, you better schedule some big teams.
Sure is going to help you, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, if all hearts and minds clear,
yeah, man.
We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Ho, ho, ho.